When you ask people about Arizona, they'll recognize city names like Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, and Mesa. Glendale and Peoria in the Northwest Valley are two of the better communities that not many people are talking about. Glendale and Peoria are located in the northwest portion of Phoenix. Most parts of this city are going to be 30 to 45 minutes away from Sky Harbor Airport. And one of the key things about where it's located is proximity to the Loop 101 and the Loop 303. Both of these highways are located within Peoria and Glendale, and they allow for tremendous and easy access to other parts of the valley. I'm a little partial because I live here in Glendale, and my community of Arrowhead Ranch is right by the 101. So in about 2 minutes, I can be on the highway and heading to other parts of the valley. I'm about half an hour from the airport. I'm about 20 minutes from Scottsdale, and a lot of the high-end shopping and dining there in North Scottsdale. So we have tremendous access to all different parts of the valley. So we're also close to the I-17. So if we want to get out of the heat and go north to Sedona or Flagstaff, we're just about 10 minutes away from I-17, where if you live in the East Valley in Chandler or Gilbert and you want to go to Flagstaff, we're almost about an hour closer. Glendale and Peoria are almost sister cities. They border each other, and during the mid-2000s, when there was a large boom in the west portion of the Phoenix metro area, both Peoria and Glendale annexed a ton of land that was still farmland at the time. And so a lot of growth in both of these cities over the past 2 years. They are both very much suburban communities. So a lot of the homes in Peoria and Glendale are within that 20 to 30 years old. So very new communities, well thought out. And so, lots of common area amenities in a lot of the neighborhoods in these two cities. Glendale is about 65 square miles. It has a population of 248,000, and it has an elevation of 1,152 feet. So pretty similar to the rest of the valley. Glendale stretches quite a distance from north to south. It's about 15 miles or so from the southern edge all the way to the northern section. And it's kind of almost a tale of three sections. On the northern part, you've got one of the main communities is Arrowhead Ranch. This area was built up in the 80s and is one of the newer sections of town. This is also where the 101 comes through the north part of Glendale. As you move south, you get into an older part of town. There is a historic downtown Glendale where all the city facilities are. They do a lot of events there. There's more of a Main Street feel to that part of town. Where, in the northern section, it's, mostly strip malls and grocery store centers and that type of thing. In the downtown area, there's a little more character. So you get a different feel just from the nature of the eras of when they were built. And then if you go west of the downtown area, Glendale does stretch out and include Luke Air Force Base, which is a huge economic driver for the city of Glendale. It's the largest employer, and it has a $2.4 billion impact on the valley each year. So Luke Air Force Base is a big component, and it's kind of the third section. That part of Luke Air Force Base, when it was built in the 40s, it was out in the middle of nowhere, and I can imagine they didn't think that the city of Phoenix would ever grow out that far. But it's the suburbs have far surpassed where Luke Air Force Base is. So in the West Valley, in almost every city out that direction, Luke Air Force Base is a fact of life, and it's a facility where pilots from all over the world come to be trained on F-16s and the new F-35. So when you're out in this part of town, it's pretty typical to have jets in the air, and it's kind of cool too. So there are people that move out this way and then complain about it, but this has been going on for decades. So if you move out this way, just know that it's going to be a fact of life. There are two main entertaining and dining sections in Glendale. On the north, in the north area, you've got the Arrowhead Town Center, which is the mall. There's kind of the Bell Road corridor there as well. You've got pretty much every big box shopping store that you could want to go to. Every franchise restaurant that you can think of is in that area. Starting to see more and more local restaurants as well. And then further south, we have the Westgate Entertainment District. That's also where the State Farm Stadium is located, where the Arizona Cardinals play. Westgate Entertainment District is an outdoor style mall. They have a couple of really cool fountains with Bellagio style dancing lights. Actually, you can check out another video that I made that will detail all the different dining and entertainment options that are available here in Peoria and Glendale. Another unique thing about Glendale is our mountains and recreation areas. On the north edge of Arrowhead Ranch, there is the Thunderbird Conservation Park, which has 3 different sets of mountains and about 25 different trails that you can go on. So if you're into hiking and just being outdoors, for most of the year, that's a great opportunity to get out, and it's a very desert feel to the trails, but once you get to the top, you can have some amazing views of all corners of the valley. You know, we're only about 20 minutes away from Lake Pleasant as well. So if you're into boating or water sports, that's a great location for that. It's super popular and it's really not that far away. Most of the neighborhoods in Glendale are suburbs. So you're going to see homes that are very homogeneous, stucco homes with tile roofs and different shades of beige color to the outside. So that's the gist of most of the neighborhoods, especially in the north part of Glendale. As you get into the older parts of Glendale, you're going to see some neighborhoods that were built in the 60s and 70s, a more shingle roof and more mature trees. Very suburban feel to Glendale. Prices start, I mean, you can spend under $100,000 if you're willing to live in a manufactured home. But prices go on up as much as you want to spend. I think the most expensive home that you can buy in Glendale right now is $2.6 million. So there's a wide variety of options there, and there's a little bit of something for everyone. Glendale is quickly becoming a hub for large-scale sporting events. With State Farm Stadium, it's a tremendous facility that can accommodate lots of different events. It's home to the Super Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl. They've hosted the Final Four there as well. So lots going on there. Every few years they're going to have the college football playoff games or even the championship game there. So lots of different events there. Also, spring training is big here in Phoenix, and Glendale is no stranger to that. At Camelback Ranch, they host the Dodgers and the White Sox for their spring training facility. So if you're into sports and big events, not just sports, but also things like monster truck rallies or motocross or anything like that, Glendale has a lot of that kind of stuff going on. The Loop 303 has become a major destination for companies that need distribution space. A lot of companies, they bring in containers into the ports in Los Angeles, and the industrial space there is just all built out, and there's nothing available there near the ports. Plus, it's expensive. So a lot of companies are putting in large-scale facilities along the 303 because it's easy to get to from the ports to here in the valley, and they have easy access to lots of major cities from this location. So if companies are serving the southwest portion of the country, this is a great spot for them where they can get brand new facilities. Plus, they're cheaper than a lot of the other options that are, if there are other options available to them. So that's having a big impact. There's tens of millions of square feet that has gone in, and even more planned and under development along the 303, and Glendale is home to a lot of those facilities. If you're considering a move here to Phoenix and you're not quite sure what part of town to be in, I've lived in Glendale for the last 12 years, so I know it better than all the others. Of course, I've done business all over the valley, and I have a pretty good idea what's going on, but living here in Glendale, I know it best, of course. So if you're thinking about moving here, reach out. I'd love to hear what's going on for you and hear what it is that you're looking for. With my knowledge of all the different corners of the valley, I can help you in figuring out which is the best spot for you. Peoria, Arizona is also located in the Northwest Valley. It's kind of a sister city to Glendale. Peoria is quite a bit bigger though. It's 179 square miles. It's got an elevation of 1,142 feet, and there are currently about 190,000 residents. So one of the larger parts of the valley, and is experiencing a lot of growth too. It has a ton of room for growth. So a lot going on in Peoria. Let's get into it. Peoria is very much like Glendale, where there's an older portion of town that's the southern end of Peoria, and there's also the newer northern section of the city as well, where they're experiencing all of their growth. There is an old downtown area. The city is putting a lot of effort into trying to revitalize it and get some development there that's going to bring in more people from a dining and entertainment aspect. But the bulk of the development that's happening in Peoria is all in the northern section. And because of that, there's a lot of brand new neighborhoods. So most of Peoria is a very suburban style neighborhood. You're going to see stucco homes with tile roofs. Very similar to Glendale in that respect. Typical homogeneous neighborhoods. A lot of new retail stuff going on as well. And Peoria is also a big benefactor of the Loop 303. There is a large master plan community called Vistancia that's got some regular neighborhoods. There's also a big community called Trilogy that's an active adult community where residents are 55 and over. Peoria has a lot of outdoor recreation options as well. They have some of the nicest city park facilities in this part of town, nicer than a lot of the things in Glendale. One of them is a brand new park called Paloma, and it's got pretty much every sport facility that you could think of. There's a nice lake that you can walk around, and it's open at night, so it's well lit. If you're wanting to go do stuff outside during the summer, well lit, lots of things that you can take advantage of in the evening after the sun's gone down. Rio Vista is also a city park that is located right next to the Loop 101. This one's pretty close to where I live in Arrowhead, and so when my kids were younger, we spent a lot of time there. Great playground facilities, lots of soccer and softball fields. There's some really nice lakes, so great facilities to go and just have kids spend some time at the playground, or if you're into playing tennis, or lots of sports leagues are there on the weekends. They also have a really cool Vietnam Veterans Memorial there that has an inactive helicopter on display. So a really cool facility. Both of those are excellent places to get out and spend some time outside. There are some hiking trails on the East Wing and the West Wing communities. They're not far from the Paloma Park. So if you want to get out and get up on a couple of mountains, that's a good way to do it in the city of Peoria. There's also a great bike trail that follows along the New River through most of the city of Peoria. So if you live nearby, most neighborhoods have easy access to that. Plus there's a couple of other parking lots where you can go and park and walk from there, or get out a bike, or whatever it is that you're into. As I mentioned, Peoria and Glendale are kind of sister cities that neighbor each other, and so a lot of their dining and entertainment options are right next to each other, or right where the cities border each other. So along Bell Road, that's a great place to go if you are looking to shop. It's right next to Arrowhead Mall, so all kinds of different box stores and restaurants that you could want to go to. There's also the city's entertainment district, which is called P83. It's right at 83rd Avenue in Bell. The Peoria Sports Complex is there. It is the home to the Padres and the Mariners for spring training, and there is a large parking lot there that is in the works to be developed into hosting a hotel, several office buildings, plus kind of an outdoor mall setup with lots of new restaurants. Then across the street from there, there are probably a dozen different restaurants and some more that are planned. So it's a great hub. If you're looking to get out and see a movie, or just get something to eat, or do some shopping, P83 is a great facility there in the northern part of Peoria. As I mentioned, most of the neighborhoods in Peoria are very homogeneous and suburban neighborhoods. You're going to see prices ranging anywhere from probably $300,000 on up to, I think the highest listing that I saw the other day was almost $6 million in Peoria. So there are options. If you're willing to live in a manufactured home, you can find options that start at around $100,000. So there's space in Peoria for everyone, and there's all kinds of different housing options. So most neighborhoods you're going to find in Peoria are going to be between 4 and 800,000 for homes. So it caters to a lot of different people and lots of different options and choices if you're looking to live in the city. The city of Surprise is also in the Northwest Valley. It's located just west of Peoria and Glendale. It's seen a huge population boom from about 30,000 20 years ago to over 140,000 now. And it's like Peoria, it's a pretty big city that's spread out. So it's got a lot of room to grow. There's about 110 square miles. So the city of Surprise is very new. So most of the development is going to be newer. Almost all the neighborhoods were built in the last 20 years. So a very homogeneous suburban community. Bell Road is the main corridor through east-west through town. And so it's a lot like in Glendale and Peoria. Bell Road's the main hub where you're going to find all the shopping and dining and entertainment options. Surprise is, they've got the Loop 303 now, which is bringing a lot of development and a lot of more commercial aspects. Before it was mostly just residential and some retail stuff. So there aren't too many big employment centers there. So it's kind of a bedroom community. So a lot of the residents are leaving and commuting to work in other places and then commuting back. So one of the hangups and drawbacks to Surprise is that a big portion of their population is going to commute down Bell Road each day or twice each day and to get to the Loop 101, which gives them access to other parts of the valley. And now that the Loop 303 is complete, a lot of residents are using it if they need to get into Phoenix or different parts of town, but it still can be a challenging city to get to or in and out of as well. So nice lot of newer things. It's closer to the White Tank Mountains, so there's some amazing views out there. But it's a great place to live if you can stay close to home for work. Surprise is very much a suburban community. The neighborhoods are going to have homes with stucco siding and tile roofs, and you're probably going prices are going to, like Peoria and Glendale, there are options that are a lot cheaper, probably 100 to 200,000. Most HOA or master plan communities, you're going to see prices starting in the mid 300s, and I think you can spend 2.5, 3 million in Surprise if you really wanted to. So like Glendale and Peoria, a wide variety of different neighborhoods and housing options. So a little bit of everything for everyone there. It is, like I said, it's pretty homogeneous. Some of the neighborhoods have done a good job with, Marley Park has done this. They have added some green belts into their design to create some open space and facilities for kids to play on. So they try to add some character, but it is, very much a suburban community with very homogeneous home style. Aside from movie theaters and going bowling, there aren't a ton of entertainment options there. Surprise Stadium is home to the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers for spring training. They also have some really nice kids facilities there at the city facilities there in Surprise. So lots of league activities for kids sports. I know there's a really big pool, some water slides. So a lot going on there, a lot of amenities that are available to the residents. But it's a bedroom community. If you're looking to get out and for fine dining or going seeing music shows and that sort of thing, you're probably going to venture into Peoria and Glendale. Well, that sums it up about Glendale, Surprise, and Peoria. I hope you got some value from this and learned something about each of these three cities.